What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Demon Reads Comics. Today we're going to continue on with the story that I just finished reading Postal. Great book. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Such a great book. But it's kind of hard to talk about I don't know if this is I guess you can call this a continuation. So at the end of Postal, there's it's called Postal Mark. It's called a Mark issue, and it's kind of like an issue about him, and then there's like another one, an issue about Laura, which is the mayor of the city of Eden, right? And so in Mark, in the issue Mark, it actually kind of explains what happens with Mark. Actually, at the end of Postal, explains what happens to Mark, Maggie, Mayor Chevron, Isaac, and Magnus, right? And it's kind of hard to talk about the end of that book because it's considered a spoiler. So how can we talk about Postal Deliverance Volume 1 and Volume 2? And I know I usually don't want to do this, but these are continuations. There's no reason for me to be like, okay, we're going to do this one, Volume 1, issues 1 through 4, do another video of this one, which is issues 5 through 8. It's just 8 issues in these two, and I don't want to separate the two, And it's kind of hard to talk about these without giving spoilers. For those of you that don't want spoilers to the first graphic novel, to Postal, go ahead and skip this video for now. After you've read it, come back to this one, because this one's going to contain spoilers for sure. Because it not only talks about the main, what happens in the last book, but it's kind of a continuation. So I'm warning you now. There's spoilers, so if you guys haven't read Postal, please skip this video. I'm going to give you guys time to do that. Alright, so yes, I got done reading Postal. I've read it before, so, it was just kind of like a continuation because I wanted to read these ones. So what are these ones? So this is Postal Deliverance. I'm going to talk about the first one. It's just 2 volumes, right? It's volume 1 and 2. It's issues 1 through 8. So I'm just going to talk about the book itself. Both of them are trade paperbacks. I couldn't find any hardcovers for them. Postal Deliverance by Bryan Hill, Matt Hawkins, and Raffaele. Yeah. Ienco. That's a hard one to say. So I apologize if I butchered that. And it is published by Image Comics. Glued binding. Most trade paperbacks are this way. And like I said, it's issues 1 and 2. Or I'm sorry, it's volumes 1 and 2, but it's issues 1 through 8. So let's go ahead and talk about these. Crack them open. Go through the art a little bit. I do have a new setup, so instead of me kind of facing the camera straight forward and kind of flipping through it, I kind of have this thing now where I can kind of face the camera down and I can flip the pages actually. So we're going to go ahead and do that and see how it works out, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so here it is, Postal Deliverance, Volume 1. I'll flip through the other one, Volume 2 here shortly. So what is this one about? Well, like I said, spoilers, and I will say this, spoilers again, give you guys a few times. Spoilers for the first Postal. You guys have been warned. Please, if you guys haven't read Postal, the actual original graphic novel, please don't, go through this. Please skip this video for now and come back to it later. So for those of you that stuck around, what is the premise of Postal Deliverance? Well, it takes place where Mark, the guy that used to work at the post office, he is now the mayor of Eden. His mom, Mayor Chevron, Laura Chevron, has retired, and he's become the mayor of Eden. And he's pretty much just as ruthless as his mom was, only he does it a little bit, quite a little bit different than his mom used to do it, how she used to run it. But so what is this one about? Like I said, it's a continuation. So at the end of Postal, the one where I said there's an issue called Mark, it's him being, already being mayor, and you can see how he's actually running it. But these kind of go through like another series of how he's living, how he's going through, being the mayor of Eden, if he's struggling or not. You do see give me a sec. Let me put it right there. Okay, you do see reoccurring characters though, because not only do we see Mark in this, him being the mayor already, but you also see other characters coming back. Like you see Magnum, they call him just Mag. You see Laura, they're retired, they're in Florida already. So you do see them come back. And as a matter of fact, she has her own story arc in Florida. She also has a surrogate child. Like she adopts, I don't know, no. She pretty much takes in a child of her own already. Like she's happy with Mag, but she's lonely without the child. So she kind of helps this kid. Like she sees this kid right here. He's stealing, and she helps him, and she kind of ends up, adopting him. And that, so in Florida, you meet this new kid Pascal, and you go back to Eden, Wyoming now, and you see Mark is with Maggie, but now you also see that they have a child as well, and that's a big thing, because in the other one, in the end of Postal, they were not the end of Postal, but like the following ones, like the one Mark, and there's another one called Laura. They were trying to have a child. The first one, they didn't. I think something happened to their first child. Like, I think Maggie was pregnant, or they weren't going to have, something happened. And I don't want to give that away. But now they have another child, or they have a child. And so, now what's cool about it is, not only is Mark the mayor of Eden, but Maggie is the sheriff of Eden. So it's no longer Mag, or Magnus. And that's pretty much the story of this. It pretty much follows them. And the biggest, not really plot, but the biggest story of this is a new person comes to Eden. And that person is a serial killer, actually. So it's up to Mark and Maggie to find out who he is, what war he brings to Eden, and kind of go from there. And so it kind of flips between the story of Mark and Maggie to Laura and Mag in Florida, because Maggie has her own stuff. I don't know why they, honestly, I don't know why they did that. I think when Postal ended, I think it could have ended right where, or at least Laura's story arc could have ended at Postal, and they could have just done away with that. I don't know why they continued her story here. It's nice that they brought her back. I wasn't a fan of it. Not really. They could have done without it. But it's still great. The art is beautiful. I absolutely love the story of Postal. I love this story. The art's a little bit different in this one, though. I've noticed that. I noticed that the art is a little bit different. And if you guys give me a second, let me see, I'll see if I can... You know what? I'm going to put this right here. Give me 1 second. Because I want to show you guys the difference in the art. It's not... This one seems a bit... How do I say it? Not rugged, like kind of sketchy. We can see... Let's put it that way. Sketchy. All right, let me put that to the side. So, this is the original Postal. Now, obviously, I'm not going to... there's not going to be the same illustrations, but just to kind of... Here we go. As you guys can see here a little bit, I know this is hard to kind of put in frame, but like the art in this one is a little bit, it's like so perfect. It's so smooth, as you guys can see here, as opposed to this one. This one's kind of like edgy, sketch. I'm not a big fan of that. So yeah, that's the story of Postal Deliverance. You get this guy coming into Eden. He's bringing a war, and people in Eden protect their own. And then it follows this serial killer, and it's a good story. It really is such a good story. Like I said, it kind of goes back and forth between Mark and Maggie, and then also Laura, Mag, and Pascal, which is, I guess it's cool, But at the end of the day, it could have really done without introducing or bringing back Laura and Mag. I think their story ended quite nicely at the end. They retired. They moved to. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of flipping through the cover arts. These are beautiful. It was such amazing to me the way it ended that I don't know why they brought it to this one. This has nothing to do with Postals. It's called Symmetry. This is why I wasn't a big fan of this, because they added another thing, and I didn't read it. As soon as I got done with this volume, I went to the next one. Didn't even go into it. Had nothing to do with it. So let me go ahead and get volume 2 out. Volume 2, there is something a little bit different with volume 2 though. What's different in volume 2 is that Mark eventually does meet his, I guess you can say, adopted brother, Pascal. Because Laura does come back eventually. And you can see here, Laura is talking to Mark. So obviously obviously Laura brought Mag and brought Pascal. So eventually, Mark does meet his adopted brother or sibling. But yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan. As you can see here, this is a beautiful picture of Mark. You got Maggie, Laura, Mag, Pascal. Beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the art in this one. The art is a little too sketchy for me. But yeah, that's pretty much, in a nutshell, what the plot of Postal Deliverance was. I'm never a big fan of like a continuation. Like when they did it for Unnatural, when they did Unnatural Blue Blood, I wasn't a big fan of Blue Blood whatsoever. And then they did a continuation with another one, and I kind of read a few chapters of it, or a few issues of it, and I just couldn't get into it either. Oh, I'm sorry, of Hot Paprika. It's called Hot Paprika Open for Business, or Sweet Paprika, because Hot Paprika is actually the omnibus name. The actual issues, the actual comic itself is called Sweet Paprika. So when they did a continuation of that called Open for Business, I wasn't a big fan of that. This one, I'm not going to say I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I love the way Postal ended. This was just a nice story of itself, but it kind of leaves you wanting a little bit more, and you were not going to get any more of it. So, like, why even bother bringing it up if the other one ended so beautifully? I mean, yeah, we wanted to see how Mark is dealing with being the mayor, how Maggie's, dealing with being sheriff, and how Laura's doing, but that should be left with how the readers, interpret it, Because now you're pretty much not even, creating your own happy ending, not happy ending for them. You already know how they're living, so there's no mystery to it whatsoever. And here's the serial killer I was telling you guys about. And yeah, do things end happily? For the most part, there's a happy ending. There's not a happy ending. People get hurt, things like that. I don't know if they're going to continue it, but yeah, right here it says to be continued. I don't know. Sorry, I moved it like you guys couldn't see it. But yeah, it says to be continued. I don't know if they're going to continue it or not, because this was released. Here's the cover art. I hope you guys like this top to bottom thing now instead of, the other way around. But I don't know if they're gonna continue it anymore, because I haven't seen any other issues or them talking about this for a while. And I believe this was released. It actually doesn't say. When I go to the rating of it, I'll look it up right now and see if they're gonna continue it or if they're stopping right here. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the rating for Postal Deliverance Volume 1 and 2. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and do my rating on this. So first and foremost, I did check it out before we do the rating on this. Yeah, it's been 5 years since they did the issue 8. They're supposedly they were going to continue the arc, but with COVID hitting and it set everything back. I don't know. It's been 5 years, and I don't know if we're going to see issue 9 or the story actually continue and finish up. So I don't know. I guess you can say that as a reader, we can just kind of put in, we can make up our own imagination and be like, okay, well, this happened, but we'll see. We'll see what happens if it ever comes out. But As far as this story, what am I gonna give him? I'm talking about both of these together. Like I'm making it like one book, both books. I'm making it one. What am I gonna give this story arc? I think I'm gonna give this story arc a 7. Why? Because the writing is okay. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that. But the art, the art in it, just it didn't pull me in. It wasn't as smooth as the original one. This one was very sketched out, very edgy. Not my cup of tea. I didn't like that it kind of left it open-ended at the end. Like, they should have continued it and finished it up. I get things happen, they put things on hiatus, but for this long, I don't know where it's going. I don't know if it's going to come back or not. As far as continuing the story in general, I think they should have just left it alone on Postal and not even done these in general. That's just my opinion. So that's why I'm giving them a 7. Yeah, I'm going to keep him so I can keep the entire collection together because I freaking love Postal. That is just an amazing book. But these ones were my cup of tea. And over arc, I really think they shouldn't have done this. So that's why I'm giving it a 7. Together, putting them together, I mean, considering the fact that the book, Postal, I gave it a 9. I'm giving this story arc a 7. It's gonna average out to about an 8 the entire story, which kind of sucks because I freaking love Postal. Now, do I recommend you guys read this? Of course, if you guys are a fan of Postal, I highly recommend you guys pick these up, check it out for yourselves, and see what you guys think. And like I said, if you guys haven't read them already or haven't read Postal, I hope you guys skipped it and come back to it when you guys have got done reading Postal. I don't want to give any spoilers for anybody. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna give as a rating. Is I'm gonna give it a 7, for both books as a story arc. I hope you guys like the new, going downward. I'm still kind of working on that. It's the first time I tried it. That, shooting it from this and kind of flipping the pages, it works. But this way is a little bit better. I just got a new mount that kind of swivels on my desk. So we'll see how that works out in the future. I might need to tweak some things. But yeah, that's my overall thing on this. If you guys have any more recommendations, let me know down in the comments down below. If you guys read Postal and read Deliverance, Postal Deliverance, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like. I know I said I was going to do this next and this next, but what I ended up doing, because I can't make up my mind on what I want to read next, I kind of did like a little spin wheel type of thing on my phone, and I put in all the names of the ones that I have to read next, including a humongous list of books that I bought. Like, I bought all these books, and I'm still waiting for them to be here. So, obviously, they're like, for example, I got Hellblazer Omnibus by Garth Ennis, Hellblazer Omnibus Volume 1 by a different writer, Volume 2. So, I obviously didn't put those, separate. It was just Hellblazer. So, I did that in a spin wheel and kind of did it from there. And I'm going to keep that for now on. So, there's no... what do I want to read next? No, what I'm going to do is, I already said it. What's next is, after I'm done with Postal, I still believe Carmen is next. And after Carmen is Faithless. And after Faithless is the Sandman series. So be on the lookout for those videos. It's going to take me some time to read some of them. Like, the Sandman books are ridiculous. They're like this freaking huge. So it's going to take me a while to read them. Those for sure, even though there's 3 omnibus books, I'm going to... do them in 3 different videos. And yeah, so like I said, I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. It helps put my videos out there for other people to check out my videos and see if they want to, pick up these books. That way they can make up their mind. If you guys haven't done so already, please leave a like. Also leave a comment. All that being said, we'll see you guys on the next one.